Markets and Tesla are both down early this morning as bond yields are up. Pretty much that summarizes the morning activity, and so far it's kind of flattish during the first 10 minutes. We'll dig deeply into the bond issue this morning, but there's also plenty of amazing Tesla news. So let's dig right in. This is Randy Kirk. Both Brians will be back today and or tomorrow. Keep your notifications on. In order to do that, you need to subscribe. You also might hit like. Do you hit like every day? Hit like every day. It really helps the channel. You're just being here helps the channel, and I appreciate all of you. And I do appreciate the number of folks now that are joining Patreon. Almost every single day, we're getting one or two new signups for Patreon. We'll talk about that later in the show. All right, Barron's has an analysis of the bond market, and it seems to me it was like 100% correct. They claim that the real rate of interest cannot go higher than it is now. Right now, we're already maxed out. So unless there is some evidence of inflation reigniting, yields have to come down. Doesn't matter what the Fed action is. This is an economic reality. Okay? People are going to bid and ask. They're going to get into an auction where they're willing to spend X amount of money in order to, are willing to be paid a certain amount of money to lend out their cash, okay? And then that auction takes place over what's called the real rate of, or the real yield. How much above inflation do people want to get? That tends to be in the 1.5% to 2% range. Right now, we're over that. So this is an economic reality that there's a couple of flies in that ointment. And that would be, we've talked about this before, that there's just so many bonds being offered by the federal government that there's not enough money out there to buy them all. Now this, you can have a supply-demand huge imbalance. This is not the case right now. There's plenty of cash on the sidelines. There's plenty of money. Believe me, the baby boomers have so much money in their homes. They have so much money in their bank accounts. They have so much money coming in from their pensions and Social Security. It's just not going to be an immediate issue with regard to these bonds, but it is a long-term trend that really folks need to be paying attention to. This could be a problem downstream. All right, I think we're at the turning point on bonds. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Meanwhile, Rick Santelli, who I do admire over the years, I think he's been right more than wrong. He went on a rant today regarding the long term. He's talking 5 to 7 years out. It might not take that long, but he's saying that the federal government doesn't stop spending like it is. Larry Goldberg and I are going to be unhappily correct. At some point, the credit bubble has to burst, and no one really knows what that will mean. We just don't know how bad that could be. I spent hours years ago. See, this is not a new issue. I'm going to say it was about 5 or 6, 7 years ago that there was a lot of screaming and yelling about the bond, the credit bubble bursting someday. There's not enough money out there to pay for all of this spending. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I could cover my assets in that particular kind of situation. There's nowhere. There's nowhere to go. I went down the entire list. Commodities, gold as a commodity, but gold as a special commodity, real estate, commercial real estate, oil, which is another commodity, but the dollar, other currencies. I mean, I just went through the entire list. I don't know where you hide your money if there is this credit burst. I couldn't figure it out. We'll just have to see if this is going to be the case, but maybe we need to get some folks in there that are willing to cut spending. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. And maybe I'm going to do an entire show on this at some point. I know it'll get low viewership, but I just feel like maybe I need to devote an entire show to it. Bottom line right now, as the bond yields are up again this morning and trueflation has dropped to 2.44, a big drop over the last 3 days. along with oil continuing down, although it was, marginally up, marginally down this morning, but it's been down for several days in a row. Something has to give. I'm picking bond yields as that something. Just as oil hit its peak at 95 last week and has dropped like a rock into now being around 89, I think bond yields are next. Might even happen today. I feel a lot of tension in the market this morning about these bond yields being so high. There's always that day when they just, something capitulates, and it's just, all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, it's time to get in. It's gone too far in one direction. Now, this from Reuters: U.S. manufacturing took a step further towards recovery in September as production picked up and employment rebounded, according to in the sector, according to a survey on Monday that also showed prices paid for inputs by factories falling considerably. All right, this is what we're talking about. The economy is okay, and the prices of inputs are falling considerably. This is the third straight month of improvement reported by the Institute for Supply Management, strengthening economists' expectations that economic growth accelerated in the third quarter despite the higher interest rates. This was reinforced by the Commerce Department report showing construction spending was solid in August, driven by building of houses and factories. The economy's continued resilience raises hope that a recession can be averted in the near term. There's no recession. There's no recession in the fourth quarter. There's no recession in the first quarter. There is growth. I think we'll talk about this in a minute. Maybe a little slower than we've been in the third quarter, in the fourth and first quarter, and then growth picking back up in the second quarter of next year. Not huge growth, just another Goldilocks, I guess, if you will. The ISM said that the manufacturing PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index, increased to 49 last month. That's the highest reading since November of 2022, from 47.6 in August, from 47.6 to 49, a big jump. But that's still, September marked the 11th straight month that PMI remained below 50, which indicates a contraction in manufacturing. And that's the longest stretch since 2007 to 2009, the Great Recession. Again, the trend is in the right direction, but it hasn't broken through yet. So let's talk a little Tesla news. Tesla has reintroduced the Model Y rear-wheel drive in the U.S. for $43,990. That's $37,500 less expensive than the base Model Y, and that all-wheel drive that was previously available but now had been discontinued. With the $7,500 federal EV credit, you can now get a Model Y for $36,490. Now, this is not a worrisome thing. This is a really good thing. This is what you want to do, is introduce a lower priced model, not lower the prices on your existing model. I mean, sure, sometimes that's the right thing to do. How do I know? I don't get the data that they get at Tesla to make these decisions. Lots of positive headlines regarding the stock market for the balance of 2024. Good earnings are expected to be reported in the next few weeks. Of course, guidance will be the issue, but year-end guidance will probably still be fine. Most are saying that there's little concern for the markets other than consumers running out of spending money and the high price of credit. I'm going to say that the price of credit is coming down, and I'm going to say that consumers still have plenty of money. Some on the other side are pointing to small business bankruptcies on the rise, along with the still questionable status of the regional banks as being the two things to be worried about in the short term. Ed Yardini comes in and notes that he sees stronger earnings in Q4 and next year, and the big driver will be, wait for it, productivity. Yes, somebody's mentioning it. This is the key. I don't know. I'll say it again. Productivity, twice. He expects strong, continuous increases in productivity, and that's what we really have to pay attention to. Ford is having a really tough month. NHTSA, NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, investigating 708,000 Ford SUVs and pickups that could experience catastrophic engine failures. That doesn't sound like something that can be dealt with in an over-the-air update. Oh yeah, Ford doesn't have over-the-air updates. Whoops. Oh, number two, they have canceled orders on the Lightning. Then there's the minor problem of a strike with a new leader that is in it for himself. Oh, who said that 3 weeks ago? I see this guy as a megalomaniac who's trying to make a name for himself and could care less about the union. Maybe he cares a little bit about the union. Anyway, that's not my theory. Actually, that's what Mary Barra said this weekend. She said he's in it for himself. I don't often agree with Mary Barra. BYD just had a great quarter with sales of BEVs just under Tesla, just a few thousand less. I expect them to keep pace with Tesla and potentially even pass Tesla. They're a good company. They have decent cars. They're very aggressive. They have a huge battery knowledge, and their battery business is a verticality for them. The industry needs them to help wipe out ICE in 4 years. This is not a worry at all for me. This is not a shocking, horrible headline for Tesla. Worry about Tesla's growth. Tesla's growth is like this. They're going to be 50% again above last year and 50% average since 2020, just as Elon predicted. There's no concern here. We're going to be at 1.8 or more, probably 1.83. All good. Rivian also had good results, staying in line with their projections. Good for Rivian. Keep going, Rivian. We're going to need them too. There's a 30-minute video out yesterday as Jay Leno sings the praises of the Tesla Semi. This is on his show, the Jay Leno Garage. Who was it months ago that said that maybe Tesla should pay Jay Leno to be the spokesperson for a series of ads? I still like this idea. I think that's what they should do. I think it would be amazing. Jay Leno has got the chops in terms of being a good guy. He's got the chops in terms of a huge number of people that know who he is. He feels like he's like he's telling the story in a real way. Put him on as the spokesman. I think it would be amazing. I'm seeing a trend that everybody is saying without saying it. So lots of people saying this, but I'm going to say it in a way that's more comprehensive, I think. Q4 is going to be softer than Q3. This will help with inflation and yields. Q1 will be flat compared to Q4, which will continue to help with inflation and yields. This will set us up for a rebound in 2024, but probably won't happen until the second quarter. The market is always thinking 6 months out. So if we start to see the market swinging up in October, November, December, then I'm thinking that shows that my prediction that I just made, based on the predictions I'm seeing lots and lots of people saying without saying it, is what we're going to be looking at. Anyway, back to Tesla again. Multiple sources are saying that the Cybertruck handover is going to be on October 26th or thereabouts. It is polite to give folks a 3 weeks notice. So if that's true, Tesla should be announcing later this week or not. I don't know if there's something holding it up. Is there something they're waiting for? Some approval, some decision, some absolute understanding of what's going on with regard to the way the cars are being made in the factory at this point? Is there something they're waiting for before they make the announcement? I'm not sure. Or if they're just waiting until it's 3 weeks until October 26th. I don't know. We'll find out. So where are the markets right now? Let's find out what's happened since we started this show. We have got I've got to find it. All right, here we go. The Dow is down, but not as much as it was. It's actually bounced off the morning. So it is doing a little better, down 0.24%. The NASDAQ is down 0.39%, which again is better than it was this morning. S&P down 0.25%. Tesla is down almost a full percent, but that also is a recovery from earlier this morning, a fairly strong recovery from early this morning. All of the Magnificent Seven are down, except for NVIDIA, which is up 0.5%. And all of the Cathie Woods were all down. Now the Cathie Woods are mixed with TDOC and CRISPR, both up, and the rest of them are down, but all again recovering from lows this morning. So that's kind of what I think that's what's going to happen today. I think this is the bonds bottom. I think, or the bonds top, the yields top and the bonds bottom. I think we might see this as being the turnaround day. That would be funny, wouldn't it, if I called that? but it's going to happen. It's not a matter of which day. It's a matter of, is this going to happen or not? Let's look at the rest of the numbers here. So we have the Bitcoin's down after quite a nice strong run up at 27.5. We've got the greenback continuing to climb. Now, remember, the greenback, the dollar is inversely related to the bond yields. As the bond yields go up, the dollar is going to go up. So as bonds go down, the dollar goes up. So this is a relationship. And so you're going to expect the dollar, but the dollar is way over its skis. It's time for the dollar to cool off. We've got the, what happened here? We've got the, okay, I lost everything here. The gold also, typically the dollar's up, the gold is down, gold continues down, 1845, it's really been crushed from over 2000 not that long ago. We've got oil up slightly this morning, but still only at 89.31. That's way down from 95 last week. I am not shocked. I think I said I thought it might go to 100. It never got to 100, but I did say I thought it would come back down and stay in the 80s. I think that's where Saudi Arabia wants it. And right now, I think they're getting their perfect wish. Bonds are up slightly this morning, not as much as they were. They were over 4.7. This is the 10-year. They were the yield was over 4.7. It's now under 4.7. I think we're going to see the bond yields coming down today and the stock market going up today. That's just me. This is not investment advice. This is me, Randy Kirk. Do your own homework before you decide what to do. We've got the 2-month down a little bit. We've got the 2-year down a little bit. We've got the 3-month down. All these are down a little bit with the 10-year being up. So that's a inversion on the inversion. So that's good news. We need that inversion to go the other way. For the long term of the economy to be right, we need that inversion to go back the other way. So that's where things stand this morning. One more quick check of Tesla. Everything's continuing again, only down 0.75% now. So we're starting to see the market. The bonds are coming down a little bit. The market is going back up a little bit. I think that is what we can maybe expect to see. All right. Many of you did not see the Brian Wang video last night on nuclear fission. I know it seems like, oh, this is heavy duty. Oh, this is, technical, scientific stuff. I really don't care about nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is never going to happen. Fission is never going to happen. Oh yeah, it's coming. Microsoft has just invested or placed an order actually based on what they're seeing. I think we're going to see nuclear fission. I think it's going to be an important piece. You probably should take a look. There is the card. You also, of course, want to get one of the things you definitely want to invest in right now. This is investment advice. But I'm not going to be able to show it to you because I've lost it on my chair here. Everybody's pointing out, they're figuring out that this is an Ames chair, but I've lost my CT. I've lost my Cybertruck. You want to invest in these? Do it now. Don't wait till the week before Christmas. I might be out. So you want to get them now. It's $25. You can buy 4 for $100 and maybe that covers most of your Christmas list. I mean, maybe you need 10. I've had people buy 15. So you may be looking at needing a bunch of these for Christmas. Why wait? This is a good time to do it. If you need over 10, give me a call. If you're out of the United States, please add $20. These are $25 a piece, unless you buy it on Amazon. You can pay more. Go get it on Amazon. It's I'm the one selling it on Amazon. So you want to pay me $29 instead of $25. That's fine. $29.95 actually. I'm a good, I know what I'm doing. $29.95. Anyway, and you can get one free, but better than that. On Patreon now, I'm putting up 3 to 5 news stories per day. I'm only putting up breaking news that I think will be extremely interesting to you. I am not going to fill up your inbox with a bunch of news that you can get in my 3 videos per day. In particular, every morning, I'm going to, review and rehash what hasn't been covered by everybody else over the last 24 hours and the stuff that I think is valuable. But if you want to get it during the day when it's hot and when you might be able to take action on it, then Patreon is going to be the way to do that. Is that worth $5 a month? And you can support the channel and say you're a producer of the channel. Or if you want to do $10 a month, then you can get one of these for free. Good deal. It's a good time to do that. All right. I think I'm done with you for now, but I'll be coming back. Actually, Brian's, I think we'll see the Brians maybe twice today, or one Brian today and one Brian tomorrow. So if you like the Brians, you're going to get your fill in the next couple of days. Great talking to you today.